What if we told you that the month of March was supposed to be the biggest month for the Walt Disney Company in terms of streaming, but it turns out that is not exactly what happened. Instead, the statistics are rather demeaning. Today, we'll tell you why YouTube is absolutely launching, taking off, and leaving companies like Disney in the dust. Meanwhile, Netflix is laughing it up. We've got the data. We'll show it to you right now. It is another fantastic day, and we are happy that you have come our way. Welcome back, one and all, where we every single time heed the call to bring you the latest in entertainment analysis at a level of excellence the Hollyweirds only wish they could achieve. Folks, as we get ready to dive in, click the like button. We have major news when it comes to the Disney streaming market share. Disney Plus, ESPN, Hulu, you get the idea, and how badly it is now being defeated by the new media, not the legacy media, not the cable channels, not the networks, but by you, by me, the new media. Folks, here's the data. Let's dive in. All right, folks, take a look at this. It's been sent to us from Mac. Now it's known, and boy, oh boy, what a great source. And this has made this be something that we can now use to understand, because I'm going to show you in just a minute that this is rather hidden. And I'm not saying Nielsen's hiding it on purpose, but there's a plus and a minus to this, and I'll explain it. First, let me explain what you're looking at. This is the Nielsen gauge, and it's intended to give you a way of seeing how the performers in streaming are doing. And the whole anticipation is that streaming is the future, streaming's where it's at. So this is it. They want to win at streaming. If you're the biggest streamer, you're the biggest entertainment company. That's what they think. Okay, fair enough. Let's have at it. Now, if we look at this, in the past, Disney was suddenly, they received a little star, wishing star, an asterisk, if you will. And that was a very interesting thing, because all of a sudden, Disney was given preferential treatment where they had Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus all combined together. And then that made it look like Disney Plus had more viewership, perhaps. Okay, it was a little confusing. Well, now Nielsen has done the same thing for some other companies. Paramount Paramount with a little star, with a little wishing star, now includes Paramount Plus and Pluto TV. Warner Discovery now includes viewing on Discovery Plus and Max. Okay, so starting this month, and this just came out, starting this month, now Disney does not get the same advantage, except, folks, here's what it looks like live. Now, live, they've got the stars next to these, but I can't find, and I've been through this, I cannot find where you go to find out, what these asterisks mean. We know it because Mac has sent it our way, so we've got it. But for the average reader, they still don't know what this means that I can tell. And there is still the issue of YouTube. Now, YouTube sits there and it has YouTube and then a tiny little word that says main underneath it. And what that means, we believe, although it's not fully specified, is that YouTube, when it is played on a TV only, is measured up against these other streaming services. Because that's what Nielsen measures, is just TVs. Of course, YouTube is mostly watched not on TVs. You might say maybe 80%. I'm not sure exactly, but Tom might know the exact number. But most viewership for YouTube happens on a mobile device or on a computer or, tablet, whatever. TV would be the lesser of those, although it's increasing. By putting the word main on YouTube, what it does is it restricts YouTube to make it look like it's not as powerful as it is compared to the other services, when in fact it's vastly outperforming everything. Now, what is so interesting about what we're seeing here? One of the things is that Disney now is not so far behind Netflix when you consider that Disney has 3 services. But Netflix is also not doing too shabby. Disney now is going to be greatly influenced by what's happening in sports. And it's going to make it look like it's closer to Netflix than it might be. So sports every single month, and this is for the month of March. Well, what was happening in the month of March, guys? What would cause ESPN to do fairly well in the month of March? Can anybody tell me?
Is that the basketballs?
I've heard people
March Madness.
So
March Madness.
So Disney gets a bump, right? Okay. At the same time, YouTube, when restricted to only being The TV app itself, even when Disney has the month of dreams for the company, YouTube more than doubled. Let me say this a little clearer. YouTube, as only the TV app and not the vast majority of YouTube, more than doubled Disney in the month one would presume would be the absolute best possible month Disney could have. Let me pause there. There's more to say about this, but let me pause there and hand it to the panel now. Panel, what say you about what we're seeing and about this new development where Nielsen is now bundling the other competitors, and that can have a major impact, especially for the next month. And did Nielsen do this because this was the best month for Disney for them to introduce this? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't feel like it did with this. When you look at what Paramount merging Pluto in there, and Pluto has they were thinking about spinning off Pluto from Paramount at some point, which because that's CBS and Paramount, and now going to be Skydance, or maybe it's not going to be Skydance if they keep dragging their feet here. But combining Warner Brothers Discovery's 2 streaming service, Max and Discovery Plus, into one, that makes sense. There's a lot of cross content there. With Disney, I think that this is very strictly to hide that Disney is very inconsistent in where they are on these charts. Like right now, Disney has a huge hit on streaming because of Moana 2, but most months they fail to chart on anything that is Disney Plus branded. Hulu is there all the time, probably because Bob Iger had less influence on the production of Grey's Anatomy over the last 10 years here. I think without this, Prime Video if you combine Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount into a single one, that moves Prime Video down the list. YouTube is over here killing it with 12% of all television viewing, not even counting mobile devices. This has got to be terrifying to the studios who have to pay so much money for content.
Well, I've got way more to talk about. We're going to get to it, though. I want to keep getting the panel's thoughts on this. Especially, Tom, you've been watching this whole migration to streaming, and you've been critical about parts of it. As you're looking at these statistics now that are just breaking out, and you're seeing the consolidation of how Nielsen reports these, what are your thoughts on how this is going?
Well, I don't know if I can comment too much on the actual numbers here, but from what I'm seeing from this graph is proving to me what I've been saying all along. And it's like they killed the movie industry just to keep the cable companies happy and the cable channels happy and the networks happy. And it was at their own detriment.
Yeah.
Because look at that. Nobody's watching broadcast TV anymore. Nobody's watching cable TV on TV anymore. I don't even know what other is, other than maybe satellite, I suppose. I don't know.
Other is going to be, what would other be in this case? It could be antenna. No, it wouldn't. Antenna would be kind of
that's broadcast. Yeah.
Oh, others video games. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Others mostly video games.
Okay. So as you see there, streaming takes up a good portion of that. And as I've been saying all along, instead of trying to destroy their film studios, they should have been like, look, network TV at best has 10, 20 years left in it. People are moving away from cable. DirecTV and Dish Network are always kind of offering new deals because they're going down in flames. People don't care. Even people like my folks, who I never thought I'd see the day that my dad would cut the cord, right? And he's using streaming because they forced him to because of his sports. So, frankly, I don't see why they just didn't do this from the start and realize that Disney Plus should just be the new Disney Channel, right? Paramount Plus should be the new CBS and whatever, and MTV and Nickelodeon and all their other channels. Frankly, this whole thing just feels stupid, and like they were trying to bamboozle us all somehow, and they only ended up playing themselves in the end.
Yeah, it was a very expensive change of delivery. It's the same product delivered differently, but it cost them mind-blowing amounts of money to do this. And there's not a obvious reward, and some of them may go under. Let me show you this, Tom and Kevin and Ron. Let me get this to you because we have more here, and I got to show it to you. This is the streaming top 10 for March 10th through March 16th, and I've got some we'll see what you guys think about it. So Moana 2 comes out, and I am not surprised at all that Moana 2 hits big and lands in the #1 spot. Now, Moana 2 had a fairly strong run in theaters in terms of the legs that it had, right? And so it was kind of surprising when it performed well in week 7, week 8, week 9. It started off as a film that people thought, oh no, and I still am not keen on it. Now, I may get a lot of criticism for that, but I'm going to stand by it because it's what I feel in my gut is that this actually damaged the franchise long term because it's of such poor quality. May not have damaged the fact that, little girls wanted to go see it, but I think it diminishes it as a brand over time. But I'm not surprised that people who are paying $1.99 or $2.99 a month for Disney with whatever discount it was, that they turn on Moana 2 when it appears, on the banner. That doesn't surprise me. So Moana 2 lands at the number 1 spot. But there's something here that's much bigger in terms of the news. You can see that Disney Plus has 2 places that it lands in the top 10, Moana 2 and Bluey. Okay. So let's go to the original now. Under originals, there's no Disney Plus. These are original TV shows, right? No Disney Plus on there. In fact, there's no Hulu on there. So Disney has no presence whatsoever in originals. If we go to acquired, you can see that Hulu and Disney are there everywhere, but that's because Disney purchased Fox. So the Fox stuff is doing well, and then they got Bluey. So that's what's happening there at great expense. And if we go to the movie side of things, what are the only 2 movies that Disney has in the top 10? Moana 2 and Moana. Now, this list used to, once upon a time, this was dominated by Disney top to bottom. It's no longer. Okay, but here's what you need to pay attention to. Go back to original for a minute.
Oh,
This is March 10th to March 16th.
Wow.
What should be in there?
Daredevil.
Daredevil. That's exactly right. Daredevil failed to make even the subcharts. Daredevil didn't make it. So we're now looking at evidence, proof positive, Disney can still get a pocketed win out of a feature-length animated film. We'll see how long it stays in the top 10. But Marvel's in big trouble. Star Wars is in big trouble. And this was the big month for Disney. What happened in that big month for Disney? Well, in the big month where they had Moana 2 and they had March Madness, their 3 platforms managed to hit 5%, and that's it.
Right.
Didn't Mufasa?
I've got it in another graphical format here if you want. Look at YouTube pulling ahead right there.
Oh, wow.
And that is got to be terrifying to companies that actually pay for the content that they produce here. So this is something that I want to point out again as we talk about what happened to Disney and what Bob Iger did to Disney. Disney is actually a really strong children's brand when they release content that is appropriate for children. But Disney would like for Bob Iger would like for the Disney brand to also include like National Geographic's FX's Dying for Sex starring Michelle Monaghan, or having Anora as the front title banner when you open up Disney Plus, an R-rated movie that happened to win Best Picture, a movie that most people don't know what the plot of that movie is because no one actually cares who won the Academy Award for Best Picture from the last year. Bob Iger has tried so hard to turn the Disney brand into an empty vessel like Netflix, which Netflix means nothing except that it is the app that you turn on to watch the shows that you actually want to watch. Here, I think that this just speaks to how how confused Bob Iger has gotten between owning a lot of things and being able to produce good content.
Yeah, no, I want to be very clear. I mean, we're not trying to take away the Moana 2 thing, being the number 1 movie. That's good. But I do want to say that if Moana 2 is
it's not good because that movie was garbage, but okay.
Okay, but if it releases and you have March Madness to boost ESPN Plus, and I don't know who hosted all the games. I can just tell you that people are going to be turning into Sports Center nonstop to get updates on that all the time. So you have everything colliding together to give you the best month possible, and YouTube is eating your lunch.
March Madness is an NCAA tournament, correct?
Yep.
So then that's all ESPN.
So top to bottom, I mean, I can't overstate how big Disney should have performed. And I'm not trying to take anything away. I'm just saying There's a problem here if, and we'll remove this and put this up. If in your best opportunity possible, you hit 5% and YouTube, and a sliver of YouTube that's being measured more than doubles you, you got a problem.
Well, thank goodness they had that major release in theaters in March, because I'm sure that helped them out.
Oh yeah. Everybody watched Snow White and said, "I got to go get me some Disney Plus now." The other question you got to ask is, how many people subscribed for Moana 2 versus how many people already had Disney Plus and said, "Oh, cool, Moana."
Right. Well, and that's really the thing when it comes down to it. I call the movie garbage. It's not garbage. It is incredibly mediocre, and it is not worthy of the lineage of the Disney company, if I can say that a little bit nicer than I said it just a moment ago. Yeah. But I will say my kids actually were interested in Moana. Now, the ones that have a sense of taste from one movie to another, like, this is weird, this is strange, and it's not as good as the first one. My wife could hear it in the other room and like, what is this? There's nothing great about it. So what I'm trying to say is, when you actually have kids content that is appropriate for kids and is known to be something that people want to watch, Disney actually has a chance to succeed. So what I'm saying here is, Disney, go back to being a kids brand and not a company that is trying to do a Strange World or a Lightyear, where you're trying to make societal change through a children's movie. Here, Moana 2 was fine, and that is all it needed to be. And here you are, top of the charts. Just please pay attention.
That's right. Kevin, we'll let you have the final word. What do you got to say, man?
No, I think Jonas killed it. The Disney is struggling, but it's because of years, a little over a decade now, of bizarre mishaps. YouTube is eating everybody's lunch. It gives you the biggest variety. It gives you authentic content. It's forever streaming. The Disney is now in a place where they can't obfuscate the numbers. We all here kind of know that really the ship should be steered by Hulu. Hulu's what everybody wants. No one really wants Disney Plus. Disney Plus should be the add-on. Or like someone said, the brand new version of the Disney Channel, as people are moving away from cable and broadcast TV. There's a lesson to be learned here, but I guess we wouldn't be doing this feed if Disney was gonna learn it. That no matter how much we keep teaching them the lesson for free. Again, these numbers are very interesting. I think it's fascinating that that broadcast and cable are essentially still kind of neck and neck with streaming. I really have to wonder who are these people who are still kind of holding on, and how much longer can they hold on? And is it possible for broadcast and cable to kind of turn and say, hey, can we slow the tide if we give people better quality content, or is it just way too late? But either which way, Disney's kind of done this to themselves. They have destroyed the brand. Daredevil should have been a powerhouse, and it didn't even make the list. And I think that tells everybody what we need to know.
Right. Didn't even make a sub chart. So Disney gets the #1 movie for the week. We'll see how that plays out. But this was the perfect storm for Disney to get a big time market share. And with their 3 platforms, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN, they managed to get 5%. If you remember back, when we've looked at this in the past, we used to see that Disney Plus would get something like 1.9 on the market share. We used to see that Hulu would get 2.2, 2.3, somewhere around there. And so when we look now and see 5, that's not good. They didn't get the pop. And so April, we're watching now. We want to see what happens in April, because with the pop gone, how far does YouTube pull ahead? We'll let you know coming up soon. Thank you, Mac. Thank you, Now It's Known, for sharing that with us. You made that segment possible. It's always sad when one of these video ends, and yet it is the beginning of the wait for the next one to land. 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. And by the way, there's plenty more on our partner channels, That Part Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and go check out the original music we have on stations like Vacation Radio. We'd love to have you, love to entertain you. At least we'll do a better job than some of the current entertainment companies. Folks, like, share, subscribe, and you know what? Drop a comment right on down below. Share this out anywhere you go on social media. And until the next time, we have the honor, the pleasure of getting to spend time with you when you choose to invite us into your day to add the value that we hope to bring your way. We ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah.
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian asphyxia. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.